The Arctic, a vast, silent expanse of white ice and dark water. The cargo ship Thesborg, a metal giant, was making its way through the Franklin Strait, Canada, following the legendary Northwest Passage. On September 6, 2025, everything seemed routine, until a sudden, violent jolt shattered the calm. A deafening scrape echoed through the ship. The Thesborg had run aground, trapped on a hidden shoal. The crew stared out at endless ice, realizing they were stranded in one of the most remote places on Earth. The nearest town was hundreds of miles away. No roads, no ships, just cold and isolation. The powerful ship now felt small and helpless against the Arctic's wild unpredictability. The Franklin Strait, a maze of islands and channels, has crushed the dreams of explorers for centuries. Even today, with modern technology, the Arctic remains a formidable adversary. The Thesborg's grounding was a stark reminder: nature still rules here. The ship sat motionless, a dark silhouette on the ice, as the world watched and waited. For the crew, adventure had turned to ordeal in an instant. Their fate and the fate of their ship now hung in the balance. The silence of the Arctic returned, heavier than before. The crew could only wait, hoping their call for help had been heard. The ordeal was just beginning. The Thesborg story was about to become a global headline. In the Arctic, every mistake is magnified, and survival is never guaranteed. The Thesborg wasn't just any ship. It was a modern 174-meter cargo vessel, flying the Dutch flag and built for tough Arctic conditions. With an Ice Class 1A rating, its hull was reinforced to break through sea ice, making it one of the few ships fit for the Northwest Passage. On board, 15 crew members and a Canadian ice pilot, an Arctic navigation expert. Their cargo? Heavy carbon blocks bound for Quebec's aluminum industry. The ship was loaded deep, making shallow waters even riskier. The Thesborg had passed all safety checks. It was in top shape before the journey. The real danger lurked outside, beneath the icy surface. Even with an expert pilot, the Arctic's hidden hazards can catch anyone off guard. The mission was routine, until it wasn't. In the Arctic, every trip is a gamble. The Thesborg was a well-prepared ship, but the environment was unforgiving. No faulty engines, no broken parts, just the unpredictable wild. The crew's challenge was not just to deliver cargo, but to survive the Arctic's test. In these waters, experience and preparation are never enough. The Northwest Passage, legendary shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific, saving ships weeks of travel. As climate change thins the ice, more ships attempt the route, chasing profit and speed. But the shortcut is treacherous. Ice flows drift unpredictably, and the passage is only open for a few short weeks each year. Even then, massive chunks of ice can block the way or crush a ship. The Arctic seafloor is poorly mapped. Many charts are decades old, with huge gaps in data. The Thesborg may have strayed east of the main shipping lane, likely to avoid ice, and entered shallower, uncharted waters. One small course change led to disaster. In the Arctic, the margin for error is razor thin. The crew's gamble, to save time, ended with the ship stuck fast on the seabed. The risks of the Northwest Passage are real, and the consequences immediate. For the Thesborg, a shortcut became a trap. The Arctic remains a place where nature, not technology, sets the rules. Every decision here can have outsized consequences. The Thesborg's fate was sealed by a single fateful choice. In the Arctic, shortcuts can be deadly. After the crash, the crew's first fear was the ship leaking fuel or flooding. A spill here would devastate the fragile Arctic ecosystem. The crew raced to check for damage. Relief, the ship was stable, cargo holds dry, and no oil had leaked. But the ballast tanks, used to balance the ship, were breached and flooded, pinning the Thesborg even harder to the shoal. The damage was serious, but not catastrophic. To assess the hull, the Canadian Coast Guard deployed a remotely operated vehicle, ROV, a camera-equipped robot submarine. The ROV dove into the icy water, sending back live video of the hull. Experts confirmed only the ballast tanks were damaged. The ship was stuck, but not broken. The Arctic had spared the Thesborg for now. The crew's quick action and the Coast Guard's technology prevented disaster, but the ship was going nowhere without help. The next step? A complex rescue operation. The Thesborg's ordeal was far from over. The crew braced for a long wait in the frozen wilderness. Every hour stranded increased the risk. The world watched, hoping the Arctic would not claim another victim. The Thesborg's fate depended on expert intervention. In the Arctic, survival is a team effort. In the Arctic, rescue is never quick or easy. The Thesborg's owners called in a salvage master and a naval architect, experts in ship rescues. Their mission: create a plan to free the ship without causing more damage or an environmental disaster. The team had to travel thousands of miles, bringing specialized equipment and powerful pumps. Timing was everything. High tide would give the best chance to refloat the ship. The plan: pump out the flooded ballast tanks, lighten the ship, and pull it free at the peak of the tide. Every detail had to be perfect. One mistake could make things worse. The Arctic's remoteness made logistics a nightmare. The salvage team's arrival was the crew's best hope. The world waited for the experts to work their magic. In these icy waters, even the best-laid plans faced the unknown. The Thesborg's rescue would be a test of skill, timing, and luck. The stakes: the ship, the crew, and the Arctic itself. Success was far from guaranteed. The Canadian Coast Guard, CCG, was first on the scene, deploying two icebreakers, the Jean Goodwill and the Sir Wilfrid Laurier. The Jean Goodwill conducted the crucial underwater survey with its ROV, confirming the ship's condition. It stayed nearby, monitoring for pollution and ensuring the crew's safety. The Sir Wilfrid Laurier ferried the salvage team and equipment to the remote site, using helicopters and cranes. The Coast Guard didn't salvage the ship themselves. They oversaw the operation, ensuring safety and environmental protection. Their constant presence brought order to chaos. For the stranded crew, the sight of red and white Coast Guard ships was a lifeline. In the Arctic, the Coast Guard is the difference between disaster and hope. Their swift, coordinated response set the stage for the rescue. The Thesborg wasn't the only ship in trouble that season. Just weeks earlier, the Rosaire de Gagnes, another modern cargo ship, ran aground in Pelly Bay. Fortunately, it floated free at high tide and escaped major damage. Two groundings in quick succession sent a clear warning: Arctic navigation is riskier than ever. Both ships were well equipped, with experienced crews, yet both fell victim to poorly charted waters. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada launched investigations, searching for root causes. The pattern was clear: the environment, not the ships, was the problem. The Arctic's changing conditions and outdated maps are a recipe for disaster. As more ships attempt the Northwest Passage, the risks multiply. The Thesborg and Rosaire des Gagnes are cautionary tales. Without better preparation, more accidents are inevitable. The Arctic demands respect, and better tools for those who dare to cross it. The lesson: technology and experience are no match for an environment in flux. Why is the Arctic so perilous for ships? Only 18% of Canada's Arctic waters are mapped with modern sonar. The rest is a mystery. Ships sail blind, relying on outdated charts and guesswork. Climate change adds new dangers. Melting ice creates unpredictable, mobile flows that block routes and hide hazards. The Thesborg's ice pilot was an expert, but even experts can be caught off guard by shifting ice and shallow, uncharted waters. The Arctic's chaos can trap or crush even the strongest ships. If disaster strikes, help is far away, and cleanup is nearly impossible. The Thesborg's grounding was a wake-up call. We're not ready for safe Arctic shipping. The risks are growing, and the consequences could be catastrophic. The Arctic's dangers are real, immediate, and demand urgent attention. The Thesborg's ordeal offers hard-won lessons. First, we need better maps. Detailed, modern surveys of the Arctic seafloor are essential. Technology alone isn't enough. Crews need real-time ice data and better training for unpredictable conditions. The Canadian Coast Guard's rapid professional response was vital, proving the need for strong Arctic presence and resources. As shipping increases, so must our preparedness for rescue and environmental protection. The temptation to use the Arctic as a shipping shortcut is strong, but caution is critical. Stricter rules, better information, and respect for the environment are non-negotiable. The Arctic is fragile and unforgiving. The Thesborg story is a warning and a guide for safer, smarter Arctic navigation. In the end, survival in the Arctic depends on humility, preparation, and respect for the ice.